Look, we just arrived. It's the SuperLanaris, not just a regular Lanaris, a SuperLanaris Tarot. It is a, I mean, you can already see it looks pretty good. It looks pretty good indeed. Thank you. Well, no, thank you for sending me the SuperLanaris Tarot. And a key. I'm not sure what the key goes to. I'm not sure what the key goes to at all. That's cute. That's cute indeed. I like the little key. A little key, it's a key to my heart, or a key to your heart. Anyway, presentation, first class. First, ooh, look, it's all wrapped up just like a Christmas present. And it has a nice hardbound box. The SuperLanaris Tarot. I paid 40 bucks for it, which is not a bad deal. Not a bad deal for a hard box tarot. And I'm going to break it apparently. So there we go. The nice hardbound box. It is the, I assume that's this is the front, this is the back. So check out the back and check out the front. You know, there you go. Nice little magnetic thing. Very attractive presentation. I like it. I like it a lot. I like it a lot. All right, there's the bottom of the box. Somebody's going to ask, and there you go. We have not really a book, or sort of a pamphlet, a bit of a pamphlet with all of the card meanings on here. Got a little trifold action there. We'll look at that later. Oh no, quadfold action. We'll look at that later. For now, wow, look at the edging. That's pretty. That's very pretty. That is extremely attractive. There's the back. And of course, what everyone's waiting for, here is the front. So, the Fool. On an adventure. I like the subtlety. I love the fact that it is borderless. You know me and borderless cards. I am a fan. And I will always be a fan. So let's check it out. Go into the next one, the Magician. Very, very nice. I like it a lot. Let's see what is going to happen here. This is just a 1. The Magician has a little bit of a spell. Casting a little bit of that spell action. There we go. Is it focused? Yes, it is focused. Let's zoom it in a little bit. Let's get a little bit closer. There we go. Need a nice tight look at these cards. High Priestess is very cool too. I like it. I think it's sort of interesting where they went with this. Definitely did. And here we go with the Empress. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. I like the images that they used. Sort of just, you know, put the images together. Let's put it all together. The Emperor. Huh, it's interesting. Sort of a laid back Emperor. I'm kind of actually surprised at the Emperor for this, quite frankly. It looks just really laid back. Like the Emperor just doesn't care at all. And normally you see the Emperor, he is very sort of ready to get up. Or he looks like he's ready to take some action. The Hierophant, that's interesting. Nobody looking at the Hierophant, but they're just looking out. And the Lovers, ooh. That really gets to the heart of the matter with that snake in between with the rose. It's like, you know, if you want to risk it, feel free. But if you don't want to risk it, you don't know what you're going to have. The Chariot. It's a pretty card. Overall, it's a very pretty deck. I mean, when you get sort of just this, you know, just sort of merged images type feel with that, it just feels like that. A lot of times you don't get the author didn't make a big push to get the theme that they wanted. But I think in this case, we really, really got to the heart of the matter. I really think that they put their own style, their own theme in it, and that's what's going to be good with that. All right, the Hermit, a bit dark, not for sure what's going on. Normally the Hermit is sort of lighting up the place, but we are a bit dark with this particular card. Then we have the Wheel. Ooh, that is pretty. That is pretty. I like where they went with this. This is very attractive. and Justice. Sort of an interesting twist, I guess, on this. The Hanged Man, pretty traditional here. It's sort of interesting that he's in a kitchen. He or she is in a kitchen. And then we have Death. Death is pretty, I mean, as far as that goes, it seems like we have a rebirth here with the flower kind of feel, a little bit of the rebirth action. And Temperance. I mean, pretty traditional, I guess. The Devil, ooh, I like the subtlety there. I like the water, sort of the water feature, the reflection being a little bit of a ghostly feel in the reflection. That is sort of an interesting take on that. And then the Tower, I mean, that's very traditional. Very, very traditional. So just fix up the Photoshop lighting and whatever. The Star, a lot of depth here. And the mountains in the background sort of indicate maybe you are going to get where you need to be on the Star, but it's just going to take a while to sort of get there. You know what I mean? And the Moon, very traditional, but the pathway is missing. I'm not sure why the pathway is missing. It's sort of an interesting twist on it for sure. You're missing the path on that. I can see that being sort of a different read. And the Sun, you know, sort of traditional, the sunflower, the sun, you pretty much have that theme. And Judgment, not sure what to think about that. That looks more like the Tower, actually. And the World, I like it, I like it. You do have the bird here, a ram, a lion, and I'm guessing a face in there, but I can't see it. It's a little bit sort of obfuscated. Ace of Wands, very traditional, but there's no title on it. Okay. We do have a 2. It's pretty obvious what it is. I'm not complaining that there's no title. Oh, the 2. Ooh, look at this. Look at this. Different pathways to choose from. This sort of is a little bit of more of a 3 than a 2. Ooh, the 3 is very traditional, but ooh, the graphics and the way that it's laid out, I think it's a fantastic deal there. Very nice indeed. And then we have the 4, I mean, traditional. Sort of interesting how they framed that. And then they have the, yeah, that's an interesting collage. It's like the same, it's almost like the same image, but moved around or shrunken or something like that. It's very traditional, but very subtle. This has a very soft pastel feel to it, doesn't it? A little bit of a soft pastel as we sort of go along here. And the 6 is pretty traditional. I mean, they're carrying the throne. And the 7, traditional with a little martial arts twist, I guess. Then the 8, oh, that is pretty. Oh, I love the colors. The colors just blend so well on that. It really does. The 9, very, very traditional. And the 10, ooh, I like this. I like the little heart, just sort of that extra heart, just sort of this random heart within there. Kind of cool. The Page of Wands is sort of fire breathing, okay. That works for me, I guess. And the Knight of Wands, very sort of charged forward. Look at the expression and sort of yelling out and sort of declaring that I am going through, I am looking for something. And then you have the Queen of Wands, non-traditional, interesting though. The cat, at least they preserved the cat in the collage. And the King of Wands, with preserve the lizard too. I mean, they're very, very knowledgeable about what should be on a tarot deck and where it should be. You know what I mean? What should be there and sort of how it should be organized. The Ace, again, I like the fact that it doesn't have a title or anything. Obviously, you know what it is, but it's sort of interesting that they didn't want to put any titles on there. So the 2 of Cups. I mean, it's interesting. It's almost like, are they looking in a mirror? Not really sure what's going on there. Seems to be looking in a mirror. And then the 3, pretty traditional. You know, we're sort of doing the swimming thing. And the 4, Very traditional, very traditional. And the 5. Ew, looks more like an 8, doesn't it? I mean, doesn't it look more like an 8? We have sort of the pathway, not literally a pathway, but we have an area that we're starting to go to. We have a city in the background. The 5 and the 8 do share a lot of commonality, in my opinion. So it's kind of cool to see just how they went with that. And the 6, okay. The 7, oh, very nice. I like how they did this. I like the collage with this. That is really interesting. The 8, oh, there's no city in the background. Yes, one of the things with the 5 and the 8, the 5 has a city, the 8 does not have a city. You know, kind of feel the 8 just feels like we're wandering into nothingness, and you get that feel right here. I like it. The 9, I would say pretty traditional, but it feels like we're in a cafe almost. Doesn't it feel like you're in a cafe or a bar, like an old Italian cafe or an old Italian bar or something? I think that's sort of where we're at. Oh, that is a pretty 10. That is a very pretty 10. Man, you know, some of these Kickstarters are just knocking it out of the park. Knocking it out of the park. Page of Cups. It's got, you know, sort of talking to the fish. Sort of interesting, the color dynamic between the fish and the girl. And the Knight of Cups, Mr. Romance. It's got the mountains in the background. Again, very sort of preserving the true intent, I think, of this. And then you have the Queen. The Queen is very, very traditional here. The King. We saw the King of Cups in the preview. This is one of the cards I was really looking forward to. That is very interesting. Again, she really preserved the theme and the feel of a lot of these cards. And then we have the Ace and the 2. Very, very traditional. It's kind of hard to do a collage deck and keep the tradition intact, in my opinion. Keeping the tradition intact is sort of important in many ways. Then we have the 3. I think they did a good job with it. Keeping that tradition intact, they did a good job. 4, very traditional. Then we have the 5. I mean, it's interesting. It's interesting. It's kind of dark and hazy. A lot of these cards are dark and hazy. They're easy to read because the numbers are there and whatnot, but that is a very attractive 6. That is a very attractive 6. That sort of just the evening glow, of the sunset feels like a real, like we're going into darkness or we're going into something unknown. It does feel a little bit like we're going into a worse situation than what we had, but interesting nonetheless. That's a pretty 7. That is. Look at all the ingrained meaning in the 7. We are escaping and he's headed this way. So we know the path that we're escaping to, right? And that's sort of how you get that feel with a lot of these 7s of swords, is you don't know where you're going. It focuses on the act of the escape instead of where we're going next. And I think the fact that this focuses on where we're going next is fascinating. The 8, I have no idea what's going on. I guess they're trapped. Very dark, a little too dark for my taste. The 9, again, too dark for my taste. I know it's not a positive card, but it's a little just too dark. The 10 is pretty traditional there. It was almost traditional as far as everything, right? Even the placement, sort of the back of the neck, back of the head. The Page of Swords, being able to handle any situation. I like it. And the Knight. And, yeah, the Knight of Swords. You know, I like to see knights on a horse. When they're not, you know, you got to kind of keep the theme going, and I think it keeps the theme pretty well. And the Queen, interesting, almost look like a martial arts type thing going on. And the King. The King is very focused. The King is very focused indeed. Maybe a bit too much. All right, that is a very, very traditional and beautiful Ace of Pentacles. Ace of Pentacles with a hand is being offered, right? Is being offered. It's sort of important that it is being offered. It's not something we have to work for and whatnot. Then we have the juggling 2 with the traditional sea and the boat in the background. And then the 3, I mean, very, very traditional with the reading of the manuscript or whatever's going on. And then you have the worker sort of demonstrating their work and whatnot, a little bit of that Leo feel, as well as exchanging requirements. The 4, a little dark, but okay. The 5 is extremely traditional. Very, very traditional. I'm just saying. And then you have the 6. The 6 is, you know, a wealthier person giving and assisting and whatnot. And the 7, I like it. They're not actually doing the work. They seem to be more observing in this. That is an interesting twist, don't you think? A little bit of observation feel there. And then the 8, very traditional, except there's no city in the background. At least I don't see one. 9 feels good. You got an owl instead of the other bird. I think the other bird was a dove, I think, but you have an owl on this one. And then the 10, very traditional. I like the openness of the background. Page, very traditional, sort of looking at it. The Knight actually has a horse in there. There's no wheat fields, but it does feel like we're sort of, you know, hanging out, relaxing, settling down here. And the Queen is pretty. I like it. Very pretty dress. And finally, the King. All right. That is pretty much it. The SuperLanaris Tarot. Very, very attractive deck. Pretty pleased with it, I gotta say. I'm especially pleased with, for 40 bucks, I got a nice, beautiful sort of pink siding in it. It's an attractive deck, even has an attractive back. In my opinion, overall, I think this was it's a good collage. It's a good collage deck. It's hard to get a collage deck right, in my opinion. So let's look at the book. I mean, the fold out. I'll let it sit here and you can sort of pause and read. We'll do that for a couple of seconds. So pause it, read it if you're interested in their interpretations of this. And then we go for the other side. So again, pause it and read it if you're interested. And that is the SuperLanaris Tarot. Thank you for watching. Please hit like and subscribe. And here's the key once again. I'm not really sure what that's for, but it's a legitimate key. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.